Let's continue now with
the
concluding prayer. Have in mind our brothers and sisters in the Holy Land of Israel with Al-Tira mipachad pisem, not to fear sudden terror. Al-Tira mipachad pisem, Shoas Rishayim Kisava, Utsu Eitzaves, Sofar Dabru Dovar Villa Yakum Kima Anuel, Yadzikno Anihu, Yadseva Ani Yesbo, Ani Yosi Siva Ani Yesova, Ani Yesbo V'Yamale, Ach Tzadikim, Yodu L'Shmecha, Yeshu Yeshorim Esponecha. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning.
Rabbi, can you say that in this parsha, the God counts us, but he's counting on us.
He's counting on us too. Yes.
Oh.
We explained that yesterday.
Oh.
We are supposed to guard the inner sanctum, and God protects us. So on this day, our hearts and our thoughts are with our brothers and sisters in the land of Israel, and the attack continues with greater intensity, and everyone in the land of Israel is on high alert. You've seen the pictures, you've seen the scenes of what's happening there. Little babies which are taken in the hospital, taken from their cribs, taken to safe rooms.
Sure.
It's just mind-boggling. They were able to get footage of this. You look online, look at different websites that have all this footage. It may not be on your regular media, but it's been recorded. You have there before taking out the enemy out in Gaza. They're sending off missiles from the top of residential buildings.
Hospitals too.
Hospitals, residential buildings,
Schools,
all these areas. And before Israel sends off any missiles, you have there the IDF soldier who is pleading with the manager, get your people out. It's recorded. In addition to that, before they actually send a missile, they send like a dummy missile, a knocker on top of the building, like a shake-up. What's about to come next? Get out now. Where else do you have anything like this?
No, you don't.
We stand with our people. We stand with justice. We stand with morality. We stand with goodness. That's what Israel represents, and that's what we stand behind. That's what we back. And unfortunately, there are innocent people that are there, and the world has to make their word now known to the world, that they have to stop what they're doing because they are endangering their own lives. We'll say a prayer on behalf of Israel and put on tefillin. Put on tefillin, as it says in the Torah, V'ro kulam ha'aretz ki shem Hashem Elokecha nikra alecha v'yoru mimeka. And the nations of the world will see the godliness upon you and will be in awe of you. This refers to tefillin, the mitzvah of tefillin, giving arms to Israel. Today is a very special day. It's Rosh Chodesh Sivan. 3,333 years ago, today, the Jewish people came to Sinai and prepared themselves to receive the Torah. It's a special day. We know exactly when it happened. We know exactly where we were. Imagine this. As a people of Israel, we know exactly where we were 3,333 years ago. The entire Jewish people camped at Sinai, at Mount Sinai. On the 2nd of Sivan is when they were given word by God to prepare themselves for the receiving of the Torah and the message that God said, I want you to be to me. Mamleches Kohanim v'Goy Kadosh, a chosen nation, a nation of priests and a holy nation, to be a light unto the nations. The 3rd, 4th, and 5th day of Sivan, the Jews actively prepared themselves. They purified themselves, they prepared themselves spiritually to receive the Torah. But what happened on the 1st day of Sivan? They just got there. The Talmud says they were exhausted. They were too exhausted. So maybe they were exhausted from the journey. Or were they too exhausted? What? They couldn't have been an inspirational message for that day. A few weeks ago, we were sitting around the Seder table and we were singing Dayenu, right?
Yep.
Dayenu.
Yep.
And one of the phrases in Dayenu is, Ilu kervanu lifnei har Sinai. If you would have brought us to Mount Sinai and not given us the Torah, Dayenu, that would have been enough. That would have been sufficient. The fact that we would just be at Har Sinai, that would be enough. I would be okay with that.
Really? Why?
Exactly. Why? Why would that be okay?
Like
If you tell me that if I would have been brought to the banquet and you just would have served us the first course, Dayenu, oh, what a course that was.
But you're giving me no food
If
at
you
all.
tell us you brought us to the course, you brought us to the banquet, and no meal was served, that would have been enough.
I want my money back. No.
What kind of Dayenu is that? So for this, let's take a look in the portion regarding the giving of the Torah. It says that when they arrived at Sinai, Vayichan Shom Yisrael Neged Hahar, and Israel camped facing the mountain. Neged Hahar, opposite the mountain, facing the mountain. Now, what's interesting is it says it in the singular. Vayichan Sham Yisrael Neged Hahar. It really should have said Vayachanu Sham, and they and Israel. Israel is the people of Israel. The people of Israel, they camped. They camped facing the mountain. But it says it in the singular.
There were one people.
Vayichan Sham Yisrael.
There were
So
one
Rashi
people.
quotes the words of the Talmud. Ki ish echad belev echad. Like one person with one heart. This brings it all together. So why wasn't there any communication on that day? Because as they prepared themselves for receiving the Torah, this was one day in history that we were like one person with one heart. And therefore, yes, they were exhausted. To be with one person with one heart takes a lot of effort. That's why we said, Dayenu, if you would have brought us to Har Sinai and not given us the Torah, that experience itself of being like one person with one heart, Dayenu. And yes, if we would be brought to a banquet, and that banquet would, let's say, is our dear friend marrying off a child, and you wouldn't give us a meal, Dayenu. That would have been enough. I didn't come for the meal. I came for a hug. I came to celebrate with my beloved, with my dear friend. Someone once asked the Rebbe, it's interesting. We do everything. If a person is a righty, you do with your right hand. We put on tefillin on our left hand, but we use our right hand to put on the tefillin.
Yeah, okay.
Why did God place The heart on the left side.
We can put our right hand over the right hand.
Oh,
over.
the right hand over the left. That's interesting.
No, that's serious. That's not a joke.
But that's good. That's not that. The right hand over the heart is about nice,
No,
making nice over the heart. This is the
No,
Rebbe,
that's a
this
very
is what the Rebbe
serious.
said.
No,
This is what the Rebbe said.
No, that's
My
important.
heart is on the left side, on my left side. But when
Yeah,
it's facing you,
it's on
where
the
is
right
that
side.
facing? Your right side. The purpose of my heart is not for me. The purpose of my heart is for someone else. And that is on the right of someone else. Like one person with one heart. The purpose of the heart is that we're concerned about others. We care about others. We even devote our lives and risk our lives for the sake of others. And today, as our brethren are in the line of danger, are right now in the line of fire, we are with them. We should be with them, with heart, mind, spirit, everything about us, and do everything within our power, with prayer, with our voices, to stand together with them. This is what we are here today. This is what we're about. 3,333 years since we were K'ish echad b'leiv echad. Then, today, 3,333 years later, we are K'ish echad b'leiv echad, like one person with one heart. You have two Jews, three opinions, one heart.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Let's end off with the prayer that God should protect the Jewish people. Al tiro pachat pisom. And God should bring salvation. God should bring healing. That there should be peace. Peace in Israel. Peace throughout the whole world.
Sure.
Al tira mi pachat pisom. Meshoas reshayim kisava. Utsu eitzaves ufar dabru dover villa yakom ki imanukel. Utsu eitzaves ufar dabru dover villa yakom ki imanukel. Utsu eitzaves ufar dabru dover villa yakom. Utsu eitzaves ufar dabru dover villa yakom ki imanukel. Utsu eitzaves ufadabru davar v'lo yakom ki imanukel. Oseh shalom b'mramav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Amen.
You make peace above, makes peace above. Make peace upon us, bring peace upon us, bestow peace upon us and upon all of Israel and upon all humanity. Let us say amen.
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 Amen.